Here's my plan for fruits, roots, and greens as suggested by FruitKid. So we're gonna start off with bananas and peaches for breakfast. Then I'll make my smoothie bowl with my carrot bed. And I might add more dates than that just to make sure it's enough calories for the day. And we'll have some potatoes and vegetables. And I don't know, I guess you can call these fruits as well, but I'm just going to eat as much as I would like. And if that means more vegetables, that means more vegetables. So there it is. And here it is all cut up because I thought it would make it feel more special. You saw it earlier, but this is a big bed of carrots. And then I have 2 big frozen bananas with cherries and berries, some orange juice, and more dates than what I was showing earlier. And hopefully that keeps me full for a good while. I lucked out with dates. While the other ones are a bit fermented, this one is not as juicy, but they are good. And here's dinner. I'm just gonna eat as much of this as I want. We've got Japanese sweet potatoes, some garden stuff, that's cucumbers and tomatoes, and steamed broccoli. So I completed fruits, roots, and greens yesterday as suggested by FruitKid. And I'm just gonna go through a little bit of his Instagram to give you an idea of what he promotes. And usually he promotes eating mostly raw foods, very fruit forward, and if you can pull it off, being starch free. But the other thing he really promotes is the idea of fruits, roots, and greens being for very good health for most people and something that you could probably realistically do. It's not very different than, say, raw till 4, but it's very specific about getting rid of things like grains and legumes. It's not totally different from the way I eat. It's just I don't usually discriminate against any of the starches anyhow. This particular night could have been any other night where I may have had some potato-based dish for the evening. He's always promoting something where you might be using steamed or gentle cooking of your vegetables. So it's not as much of the air frying, and you're not drying out anything that you're eating. You're also not browning it too much. So this is the kind of food or the diet that he promotes, and I think it's a great one to promote. So like I said, it's not totally different from the way I currently eat. If anything, it just gives me motivation to maybe eat less processed foods for the day. So I might not be going to, say, some bread product. Instead, I might snack on dates, and either way, it feels all right for me. But I mean, sometimes I just really want bread. But it wasn't too bad. Like I said, dates being the go-to instead of something else wasn't that big of a deal, especially for a day. So if you wanted to try eating something a little more fruit forward, I would really suggest giving this one a try. It wasn't that hard. And then as far as how I feel the next day, I always feel lighter after a day of fruit and potato-based meals. And I think it's because the potatoes just feel similar in the way they digest when it comes to when you digest fruit. You just feel full and you know it's just water and fiber rich, and then soon after the digestion just takes care of it. And sometimes I can go to bed a little bit hungry, like maybe a couple hours. I can feel the difference between having a potato-based meal versus something that has grains and beans, which will stick to you a bit longer. I don't know if you can feel the difference yourself, but I noticed that beans and rice will stick with me a lot longer. I won't feel hunger in the middle of the night like I might with potatoes. So if you're somebody that needs a lot more calories, you just have to be mindful of eating more, or you might have to be the person that'll have the heartier starches. But if you're somebody who's looking to lose weight, I agree with him completely that if you were to stick to fruits, roots, and greens, it would be a great way for somebody to lose some weight without feeling like they're hungry all the time. As far as costing goes, it was just a little bit less expensive than more of a fruit and vegetable forward day. So at the end of the day, it ended up being approximately $11 a day, which means $330 for the month for one person, which I think is still reasonable. And for a family of 6, it would be $1,980, which is, again, a lot more expensive than what I normally spend for my family. I'm not saying that eating this way or any of the ways that I've tried so far is the way to eat. You have to obviously make eating a carb-based, plant-based diet work for you and your budget and your health. You have to make it work for your family. So
if I needed to make this even cheaper, I would have leaned less on any of the fun or fancier fruits. And I could have done all bananas. Had I done all bananas and potatoes, that would have been a really cheap day. So I didn't even count the cost of things like tomatoes and broccoli because that came out of my garden. So that might have been considered cheating. But I didn't add them because it's the season. But if you really wanted to make this cheap, or if you wanted to try it and you don't feel like you've got the budget for it, stick to bananas and stick to potatoes. And honestly, frozen bagged vegetables or frozen bagged peas or broccoli will make this very sustainable, very cheap if you want to give it a try. I've got zero bad to say about this. I really think that this is the way to go if you have weight loss goals or if you have any health goals as well. This is a really health promoting diet. So if you've ever tried fruits, roots, and greens, let me know in the comments below.